Socrates, the man who practically invented the fine art of being a philosophical nuisance. Born around 470 BCE in Athens, Socrates spent his days wandering the agora, relentlessly questioning anyone unlucky enough to cross his path. He wrote nothing down, preferring instead to engage directly with people, leaving others, like his student Plato, to scribble furiously and preserve his legacy. Socrates had a singular obsession: truth. Not the kind that rests on authority or tradition, but the kind uncovered through relentless inquiry. For him, truth wasn't something handed down from on high. It was something earned by dismantling flawed arguments and rebuilding better ones. And let's not sugarcoat it. This made him deeply unpopular. His questioning exposed the ignorance of politicians, poets, and craftsmen alike. It also earned him a death sentence, as Athens decided they'd rather drink wine without his endless interrogations about justice, virtue, and the meaning of life. The Socratic method, the cornerstone of his philosophy, is as effective today as it was then. It's a technique built on disciplined questioning, designed to expose contradictions, clarify ideas, and force people to confront the limits of their knowledge. Think of it as an intellectual cross-examination. Every answer raises another question, every assumption is scrutinized, and every weak argument is laid bare. It's not about winning or losing an argument. It's about peeling back the layers until the truth, or at least a clearer understanding, emerges. Now, let's see this method in action with some detailed examples. Imagine Socrates encountering a modern flat earther. His approach wouldn't be to shout them down or dismiss them outright. Instead, he would gently and persistently lead them through a series of questions designed to expose the weaknesses in their claim. Socrates: "Ah, my friend, you say the earth is flat. Fascinating. May I ask, how do you know this to be true?" Flat earther: "Because when I look around, the ground is flat. Water doesn't curve." Socrates: "I see. And is it your belief that what appears flat to the eye must indeed be flat in reality?" Flat earther: "Yes, that's just common sense." Socrates: "Common sense, you say? But tell me, does common sense always align with reality? For instance, when you see the sun rise and set, does it appear to move around the earth, or is the earth moving around the sun?" Flat earther: "It looks like the sun is moving around us." Socrates: "Precisely. And yet we know that appearances can be misleading. So, might it be possible that the flat appearance of the ground is similarly deceptive?" Here, Socrates begins by challenging the flat earther's reliance on appearances, planting the idea that what seems obvious might not always be true. Next, he'd probe deeper into their reasoning. Socrates: "You mentioned water doesn't curve. May I ask, have you conducted experiments to confirm this?" Flat earther: "Well, I've seen videos and read articles about it." Socrates: "Ah, so your belief relies on the observations of others. Are these sources reliable? How do they compare to, say, the work of sailors who navigate using the curvature of the earth?" Flat earther: "They've been misled by the government." Socrates: "Intriguing. If the government is capable of deceiving so many people, must it not possess extraordinary resources and intelligence? Yet we trust this same government to build roads, manage air traffic, and regulate medicine. Why would they deceive us about the shape of the earth, but not these other matters?" Socrates now introduces the concept of internal consistency. If the flat earther believes in a grand conspiracy, they must reconcile that with their selective trust in other aspects of government or science. Socrates: "Let us return to appearances. Have you ever watched a ship sail toward the horizon?" Flat earther: "Yes, of course." Socrates: "And did you observe how the hull disappears before the mast, as though sinking beneath a curve?" Flat earther: That's just perspective. Socrates. Interesting. So, perspective can cause objects to appear distorted. Then, how do we know whether the flat appearance of the Earth is due to perspective or its actual shape? Would we not require additional evidence to determine the truth? Here, Socrates pushes the flat earther to question their assumptions about perspective and recognize the need for further evidence. Socrates. Finally, my friend, you claim the Earth is flat, and I do not yet say you are wrong. But let us consider this. What evidence could convince you that you are mistaken? If no evidence could ever change your mind, then is your belief based on reason, or something else entirely? With this final question, Socrates reveals the ultimate test of any claim, its falsifiability. A belief that cannot, in principle, be disproven is not a belief grounded in evidence, it's dogma. So, how does the Socratic method fit into the truth ladder? Perfectly. It's a tool for rigorously testing claims at every rung. When an idea lingers in possible truth, Socratic questioning reveals its assumptions, inconsistencies, and gaps in evidence. As the questions progress, only the most coherent, evidence-backed ideas climb toward plausible truth or probable truth. And if a claim collapses under scrutiny, it's left behind, discarded as unworthy of further attention. But let's not mince words. The Socratic method isn't for the faint of heart. It demands humility, intellectual honesty, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. It's not about winning arguments or humiliating opponents. It's about seeking clarity and building a foundation for genuine understanding. And in a world awash with noise, there's nothing more valuable or more necessary than that. So, whether you're facing a flat earther, a conspiracy theorist, or your own deeply held beliefs, channel your inner Socrates. Ask better questions, demand better answers, and climb higher. Because if truth is what you seek, the journey begins not with certainty, but with doubt. And doubt, as Socrates would tell you, is the beginning of wisdom.